All right. Good afternoon, everyone. It is Monday, December 20th. This is the MMAOB Daily Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Adam Martin, joined with my co-host there, Mr. Big Marcel. Marcel, man, how's it going?
All good, man. All good. I'm looking forward to the holidays coming up, and I thank you as well, man. First time with your daughter, right? So that should be amazing.
It's crazy. Eh? Yeah, we got her some cute little Christmas outfits and stuff, and a little bib and stuff for Christmas. So I'm excited about it, man. We got her some presents. I spoiled the shit out of my daughter for Christmas. Not only just my daughter, but I have 5 nieces and nephews. We spoiled them too. You know, it's more about, it honestly is more about gaming. When you're a kid, you just want to get presents. I couldn't wait to get the next video game, But when you're an adult, it's it's nice to get a present. Don't get me wrong, but honestly, seeing the kids happy makes me happy. That's what it comes down to.
It's more about giving when you're older.
It really is, man. We got Mr. Glenn here. Hey, Glenn. Evening, Adam Marcel. Thanks for your best luck for next year. Appreciate it, man. Glenn, I appreciate you joining the podcast, man. I like your comments in there, so appreciate it. Anyway, so for today's podcast, we're going to recap UFC Vegas 45, and we'll talk about, I know you don't want to talk about Marcel, but we have to talk about Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley. I mean, it was pretty crazy knockout. Yes, it was kind of an uneventful fight until that happened.
Did I miss something?
You might have missed the end of it. The rest of the fight was complete trash. We'll talk about it, but I should mention. Okay, so as I said last week, Marcel, there's no more events for. I think it's a month. I think January 15th, I believe, right? That's the next
month. Man. Yeah.
So that's the thing. So the next month we're gonna have to think of different things to do on the show because I want to keep doing the show. So I think for tomorrow we're gonna do we'll do fight announcements that we missed lately, Marcel. I think for tomorrow's podcast, and then next week, if you want to come on with me, we could do some year-end recap stuff. I was thinking to do that. That sounds pretty good to me. So we're still gonna do a short next week and the next couple of weeks, guys. I enjoy doing the podcast. I know Marcel does, and we want to keep it consistent. I don't want to take a break. I don't think we need to. It's only an hour. It's twice a week. It's not a big deal. Sinister story. Been following Marcel a long time. Haven't heard him speak before. Big fan of Marcel. Everything does. Me too. Marcel's a guy I really respect and like. The funny thing is, Marcel, I honestly, I didn't know you spoke English either. Until I heard you on what was the guy's podcast? Oh, what was the guy's name? You used to do his podcast. You guys were breaking down the fights.
I did with Max Friedman or Davidson Baker. One of the
Davidson Baker. That was the first time I heard you, and I was like, man, Marcel is good at speaking English, and he knows his shit. As soon as I heard you on that podcast, Marcel, I messaged you right away. I was like, I need you to come on this show. Marcel came on, I think, once, and then a few months later, he came on again, and then there were some changes here, and then he came on full time. So I'm glad Marcel. Well, it's not really full time, but it's twice. It kind of is, Marcel. It's twice a week. So we'll call it. This is our full time job. 2 hours a week. No, I'm kidding. But obviously, he replaced Cole this year, and it wasn't anything against Cole. Obviously, just the timing because I had to switch the time for my new job. So we're happy that you're here, Marcel. We got Alex in the chat. Alex, what's up, man? Give Alex a shout out too, man. This guy's been grinding hard.
Yeah.
And he was at the UFC card this past weekend. We're gonna talk about it in a minute here. Asking some really good questions. So good job, Alex, honestly, man. Because for me, you've kind of come out of nowhere the last few years, man. You're really crushing it. So I'm happy to see that, dude. For me, unlike a lot of guys in this industry who are jealous of when other people do well, I'm not. I like seeing other people do well, especially a guy like Alex who's a hardworking guy. That makes me feel good. Guys are hardworking. We need more hardworking people that grind in this business, not lazy people. Glenn says 2020 should be the year Marcel sets up a method for fans to donate if they want to. I agree, Glenn. I mean, me and Marcel have talked about it. He knows that I think that, some sort of Patreon or something would make sense for him, but he's got to have to figure that out himself.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. I mean, to be honest, Marcel, you might get some people paying the $5 or you should charge them $500. This is some X-rated stuff.
I should pay the people to watch it.
I was going to say, Marcel, you got to pay me $5 to sign up. I ain't paying for that, bro. I'm sorry. I'm good. Anyways, but yeah, so you guys know how the show goes. It's a lot of fun. We talk about the fights. There's no BS. We don't talk about politics. We don't talk about other sports. Talk about the UFC fights and other promotions too. Now let's go through the card. Get your thoughts on the fight. So picks. What? I mean, it was a decent night. I went okay, but the last few fights, didn't go the way I thought, including the main event. I thought Daukaus really was nearing the prime of his career where he could beat a guy like this, but. Lewis showed once again that, he really is one of the best heavyweights in UFC history. I mean, really, when you think about it, because the amount of wins he has against top 10 guys is insane, Marcel. He has a win over Daukaus, who's top 10, Blades, Volkov, and Nagano, and also Derhimov's top 10. So this guy has more top 10 wins, I think, than anyone right now, which is insane. So it's just crazy with Derrick Lewis. He's just a very difficult guy to pick against and pick to win, too. Obviously, I knew he had a puncher's chance here. I thought the fight would be a little more competitive. It was like a blowout, Marcel. Give me your thoughts on the fight, man. It's just a quick knockout. No worries, man. No worries.
So, would you have grabbed the cup when it was smashed?
No.
I mean, I never saw that before. I was like, what the hell's gonna do?
The dude was so happy too. He's probably smelling it right now. He's just like,
he looked way too happy with that thing. You know? He looked way
bro,
too happy.
I wouldn't have touched it, man.
So
no way.
I actually heard the story. I don't know if it's true that he wanted to do a shoey out of it.
Oh my god, that is beyond wrong.
That's what I've heard.
That is really, really wrong. Yeah. Oh god, a shoey out of a cup. Oh my god.
So a cuppy.
Also, Alex made a horrible bet. Why would you put 200 Hunsucker? Dude, his name is Hunsucker. Sucks. The guy has no chin. No, I'm just kidding, Alex. I know a lot of people took a shot at him, especially after Tough this weight. We'll talk about that too. What a shit show. But give me your thoughts on the fight, Marcel. Lewis and Daukaus.
I mean, what can you say, man? I think Daukaus, the first flurry he went through, you know, but the second one was too much for him. I expected more from Daukaus. I expected him to keep more distance, to land some on the feet, and probably take it to the ground and uses his ground game. But didn't happen at all. Lewis did what he had to do, what he always does. You know, when he wins, he waits and he picks the perfect moment and he knocks you out. You know, and a very good win by Lewis. I mean, I think Daukaus was the favorite going into this fight, a slight favorite.
Yep.
So. I mean, good win for Lewis, and looking forward to what they're going to do next with him, man. I would say a fight with Stipe Miocic should probably be next, but Stipe wants to wait for the winner of Francis against Gane. So I don't know what they're going to do with Lewis, but it's a good win for him, you know. It's definitely a very good win for him. And for Daukaus, it's his first loss in the UFC, his first setback. He can still come back, so I mean...
Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world. You know, I like Chris Daukaus. I will say, though, like, when I was... Not now, because I already knew what he looked like, but when his first few fights, when I didn't really know much about him, I remember watching tape, and I saw him get knocked out a couple times in the regional scene. So, like, I knew he could get knocked out. I thought he had made those adjustments in his game and improvements, Marcel, where he could overcome Derrick Lewis, and it just wasn't like that. So, you know, I get a hand to Lewis, man, because he once again proved me wrong. I mean, he's a tough guy to pick against, you know? Like, he really is. This year I went 1-2 on him. I picked Gane correctly, and then Blades and Daukaus I got wrong. He's just a tough guy to pick, Marcel, honestly.
Lewis is probably my worst pick in all the UFC. I think almost every fight he won, I pick against him, and every fight he lost, I pick for him. I think only the Cormier fight, I'm pretty sure I had good.
Well, everyone had him that one,
So
that wasn't the hardest one.
Difficult. So
I mean, when he first started fighting, I bet on it literally every single fight. I bet on him every fight for like the first 10 fights he had.
Oh, I picked Gane.
I'm sorry. I was talking about Lewis now. Just his beginning in the UFC. I've always liked the guy, but we've seen him get knocked out. We've seen him get, you know, tired and stuff. And I just didn't think he'd win this fight. I mean, good for him, and he really proved me wrong on this one.
I don't know who said that, but somebody said on Twitter, Lewis still got that cheat code, and it's literally like that. You know, he just got that one, pretty much that one punch knockout or a flurry he can stop you with. You know, and he got some crazy power, and even when he's losing 2, 3, 4 rounds, you know, he can still come back. We saw it against Abdurakhimov. We saw it against Volkov. We saw it in so many fights of his, you know, and even this time he didn't even have to. First round, it's a great win for him.
It's a big win. All right, let's go to the main event. Belal Muhammad defeats Stephen Thompson. You know, I even said last week, guys, I'm like, he has a clear path with the wrestling, just like Gilbert Burns did to him. But, you know, this was even more dominant. I mean, we've never seen Thompson dominated like this on the ground. Like, we've seen him lose, but it was never this dominant. 30-25, which I thought that was the right scorecard because that's what I scored it. 30-25, 30-26, 30-26. It was honestly a one-sided fight, Marcel. Give me your thoughts on this fight.
Dude, absolute blowout, man. I think the first round, the first 3 minutes, maybe not, but after that, man, Belal dominated the fight. Last 40, 50 seconds, he landed punches on Thompson with Thompson pretty much not replying.
Do you think they should have stopped it? You think he should have?
Could, but those punches weren't really fight-ending, I think. But it could. Listen, if he did stop it, I wouldn't have complained about it. But overall, I kind of tell you, man, I was kind of shocked with Stephen Thompson's ground game, man. You know, I think we all knew Belal, that was his way to win, to keep Thompson on the ground. And Thompson's way to win was obviously to keep it standing. But Thompson didn't look really into it, you know, and Belal looked like a will beater, in my opinion, that day, because people underestimate, man. I said in the tweet, like, I think Belal deserves 50K for this one. And I understand that people saying like it wasn't very entertaining, but doing this to a guy like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is super impressive, and that's what I mean with being super impressive, deserving maybe a 50K bonus, because Thompson, nobody did this to Thompson. Even Burns didn't do this to Thompson. Burns did only for 2 rounds. It was 1-1 going into the third, So Belal was so super dominant. I didn't expect that. And maybe that's me underestimating Belal or overestimating Thompson's ground game. I don't know. But Belal looked great. And I'm happy for him, man. He deserves the praise he gets right now, I think. It was an amazing accomplishment for him to dominate Thompson.
No, I mean, you're right. Look, I'm looking at the scorecards right now for UFC 264. It was 29-28 in that Thompson-Burns fight. This is 30-25. This is a completely, more dominant performance. Mm-hmm. Listen, it was boring. Obviously, it was boring. Like, none of us were like, excited to watch someone hold someone on the ground. But guess what? This is MMA. That's the best way to win. If you're fighting Stephen Thompson, why would you stand and trade with him?
Yeah, I never get that. People saying that. Yeah.
And this is the way to beat him. It was smart. It was a smart game plan. And, a lot of people are hating on Belal right now, saying he's boring. And listen, he's not the most exciting guy. He never really has been, honestly. But the guy knows how to win fights. I mean, look at his record on the UFC. I'm going to take a look at it. 11, 3, and 1 no contest. I mean, that's just a good record, Yeah. Guy's a good fighter. He's just a really good fighter and it's solid. And it's a big win for him, Marcel. I mean, it gets him one of those elite guys, I think. I would have guessed, Covington, someone like that. I'm thinking, Marcel, right? Like, he wants Usman, but I don't think he gets Usman next.
I would say Burns, to be honest, man.
Or Burns, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, too, because they both beat Thompson. So
yeah.
I'm okay with that, too. Or even, I mean, frig. I don't know if they do it, but Kamzat would be fun, too.
Yeah, for sure. That would be great.
It would be a fun fight, especially, like, they're both, like, from Europe, I guess, like, Middle East area, well, Kamzat's not, but he's obviously fought there in Fight Island. Let me get these comments, guys. JFM, what's up, guys? Hey, man. Hope you had a good weekend. Glenn, too big a step with Daukaus. Take it gradually, but Aspinall. Kind of agree with that. Sounds like it may have a similar Lewis prediction add-on. They understood game work at top level, but clearly it does. Yeah, like I used to pick against him, pick for him every single fight, Daniel. And then I saw when he stepped up, I saw that he wasn't as good as I thought originally, but he can still pull a rabbit out of his hat, as we can say. Even though less than a minute, Daukaus looked good with leg kicks, constantly moving. His mistake was Lewis to take center, pressure on gone JS Hunt. I agree. I thought he was gonna fight him like Hunt did actually and go forward. Had someone give me a compelling argument for Belal. Thompson's last 7 minutes have been over fights didn't shoot a takedown. Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that's the thing. Like Thompson, the win over Neal and Luque, they look good, right? But again, it's just so stylists make fights because those guys are strikers. Yeah, Luque I would say he's a better fighter than Muhammad, but stylistically, it was a better matchup for Belal than it was for Luque. You know what I mean, Marcel? Every fight's different. We talk about, hey, Big J, Sean Brady and Belal. I don't mind the fight, but I feel like Belal kind of deserves someone at the top now. It was boring. It'd be a good fight.
I actually like Sean Brady against Stephen Thompson and Belal against somebody.
I would like that too, because I'm going to ask you a question because Thompson just resigned. Yeah. I'm surprised they resigned him. I got to be honest with you, Marcel. The guy is 38 years old. I hate to say it because he's a really nice guy. He's a great guy. Like, he really is. Like, he does interviews with James. He's one of the best guys he interviews. I know. But look at his record. It's just not good. And I'm sorry, I hate to say it, guys, but he's not that exciting, honestly.
I mean, Adam, it's probably the worst thing that could happen to him, resigning right now and then losing a fight 30-25.
I'm surprised. Why didn't they wait for the fight to happen and then? I don't understand. Very weird. Bizarre. You almost thought it would have been a motivation for him to win the fight and then resign the contract, right? I was honestly scratching my head when that happened. I'm not saying he's a bad fighter. Obviously, Thompson's top 10 still, but he's also 38 years old, and he's obviously on a decline because this is another 2-fight losing skid.
And his style, the way he fights, you got to be super, super fit and on top the whole damn time because his timing was always perfect. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's difficult. He's getting 38, and in 2 years he's 40. So, I mean, it's not getting any more easier, So, I'm surprised as well.
It really is styles make fights because you look at his career. I mean, he beat Masvidal easily. You know what I mean? He beat Luque easily. But then he fights a guy or Whitaker even. I bet on him against Whitaker as an underdog back in the day. Johnny Hendricks even, McDonald. Johnny Hendricks was a wrestler, but at that point in his career, I think his body was just so shot from all those weight cuts and probably PEDs that he took. But the point is, Thompson's a good fighter, but against strikers. Because against wrestlers, Marcel, I think at this point we've seen that he's not that great. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise if they did Kamzat against Wonderboy just to get Kamzat closer to that top 5 spot because I think Wonderboy's still, what is he, 5 or 6?
Yeah, it would be kind of a nasty thing, man. That would be kind of like I said last week that they're
Oh, the UFC
probably
does
maybe
that
going to
shit
do
all the
Gabber
time,
and
bro.
Sean O'Malley, you know?
They do it all the time, Marcel. You know,
Yeah.
they're vindictive like about this stuff. Like Louis Smolka fighting Vince Morales. They didn't have to do that fight. Those guys are, you know, they're chummy. They didn't want to fight. I don't think Louis did. They booked it anyway. So like, you guys are taking the fight. They do this a lot, Marcel. You know, they wanted Burns to fight. What's his name? Luque, yeah. And they're like, no, we're not fighting each other because we're brothers. So.
And then the UFC is like, we offered you one fight. Now you only have 2 fights for a year left. You only got 3 fights a year offered, you know. And if you don't accept that, you can do one more, and then one more, you know. Yeah. So that's how they pretty much do it, in my opinion. But hey.
Glenn, Christian Muhammad deserved 5 years, 14 fights. He's finished anyone. Thing issues the young fans don't seem to care about them. You're right. Finish hasn't come in a while, but I don't think he did submit. Was that Sato? I think that's the guy's name. Was it?
Yeah, and there wasn't Abu Dhabi.
That was 3 years ago. Yeah. Sorry, 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Yeah. So it hasn't been that long, but it's been a while for sure. I like Muhammad, but you're right. I mean, obviously he's not the most exciting guy, you know. So
that's true.
That's just the way he fights, though. You know, he's going to be. He's one of those grinders, you know. And again, Marcel, if they matched you against Stephen Thompson, what would be the one thing you'd be trying to do? To shoot for his legs and get to the ground, right? It wouldn't be
with my body. I just try to lay on him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, get down, push your belly into his face and smother him. That's what I used to do in jiu-jitsu too. When I would take on the smaller guys, I wasn't very good at jiu-jitsu, but my one move was the smother. Just stick my stomach, stick my fat in the guy's face, like I can't breathe. It's so funny. It's a rookie move. JFM years ago is hard to take on Wonder Boy. Yeah, I agree with this. It's true. His takedown defense. You look at the numbers, it's not bad, but you got to look at it with, you know, grain of salt because a lot of those takedown defended were early in his career. His Burns and Luque fight each other against Belal and Burns, Brady and Luque. That'd be fine. Marcel keeps doing matchmaking ideas. Marcel, come on, thief. Burns and Kamzat. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that one, JFM. I'm not sure because Burns was supposed to fight him, and Burns keeps saying, "I want that smoke." I truly believe that Burns wants that fight. I do believe it. Maybe it's Ali that doesn't want him to fight him. Maybe Ali's like, "Yo, we'll have you fight someone else." You know, I don't know. I like Wonder Boy versus Muslim Prairie winner D-Rod. Yeah, I like that too. You know what? I actually really like that JFM because those guys deserve a shot in the top 15. And Wonder Boy is one of the few guys that is willing to give unranked guys fights, I think. So, it'd be a good fight. But honestly, after losing 2 straight fights, he's going to have to – it'd be a bad call by him in his camp to fight, you know, unranked guy, Marcel. Mm-hmm. He's got to win his next fight. All right, let's go to the next fight. Fight of the night, apparently. Dana White gives up $50,000 each. So it was a pretty good fight. I will say I thought Angela Hill won the second and third round. I thought she should have won 29-28. It was a close fight. Comes down to the third round. 327 Lemos is just a completely ridiculous scorecard. It's so ridiculous. And I say this to someone obviously who likes Lemos, who was like, "Oh, guys, throw in your parlay. She's going to win." Honestly, this is one of those times where the bad decisions, you know, went the other way. Because honestly, if you had Angela Hill, you should have won your bet. I think she was the value here for sure. Give your thoughts on the fight, Marcel. Honestly, it was an okay fight. Like, but again, is it really fight of the night? I don't think so.
That was only one fight of the night for me, and that was Andre Ewell against Charles Jourdain.
That fight was crazy. Yeah,
it was awesome, you know. Yeah. And I don't know why this was fight of the night. First round, clear round for Lemos. She staggered Hill in that round. She looked pretty good. Second round didn't look good at all anymore, and the third round was pretty even, I think. I still think Hill did a little bit more, so I had Hill 29-28. Thing is, was super close. I don't see it as a robbery. I think could have gone either way. But yeah, it's obviously very harsh for Hill to lose in 4 split decisions. You know, it's actually crazy. Kind of reminds me of Jesse Ronson in the UFC, his first stint, where he lost 3 split decisions in a row. And now Hill has like 4, not in a row 4 split decisions, but 4 split decisions, and all losing those. That's kind of hard. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, Angela Hill probably shut me up. I said why she has to be on the main card again, but she didn't look less than Amanda Lemos, where I was very high on. I think, if anything, Amanda Lemos lost some stock even when she won here, because I don't think she looked like a world beater at all. But yeah, she got the win, so she will look up in the rankings. I don't know. I think Hill still gets another ranked girl in her next fight, because I feel like I saw her with a picture with Dana White. I feel like Dana White also was like she didn't lose that fight, so she probably gets another chance. But yeah, I mean, Hill's always in close fights, man. And
I know.
I mean, it sucks for her that she lost again, but I mean, it was a close fight, and I don't think it was fight of the night. But hey, who am I, right?
I don't think so either. But I'm going to show you one thing, because I have a theory as to why it was fight of the night. I'll give you in a second here. Daniel saying it would be minus 500 to get Wonder Boy. That would have to take place in super heavyweight. Do these heavy matches make sense? Tibur, Rosenstrike, Daukaus, Tuvesa, Ivanov, Romanov. Sure, they're all good fights.
Yeah, why not?
Who's lost more splits in the UFC, Hill or Masvidal? I think Hill at this point, actually. I'd have to double check. I think
Masvidal.
Right. Let's count it up. Let's just do it. Let's count it up. And there's obviously someone else too. I think like Clay Guida's lost a few. I think Hill 3, 4 for Hill, 4 for Angel Hill. So let's check Masvidal. I think you might be right about 5 though. But there's also fighters that like Gleison T-Belt's had a lot of splits too. Let me take a look here. You're saying lost split, right? So
lost,
Masvidal 1, 2, 3, 4 each.
Also 4. Felder is also 4, I think.
Paul Felder. Let me take a look at him. I'll take a look at Guida. Is another guy I know that has. We're just looking at split losses, right? Felder is 4. Yeah, that's a good one. How about Guida? Because he has like 30 fights. Maybe he has more split losses. I know he's got a few. He's also got a lot of really nasty submission losses. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you guys can find someone with more than 4, let me know because I can't find.
I still love Paul Felder's face in that Dos Anjos fight where he got the one scorecard. He was like, "Huh."
All right, here's my theory. Here's my theory, and this is just the theory, but this is why I think this got fight of the night. And this is why I think that some of the other fight of the nights recently have been getting fight of the night, and I don't think they're necessarily deserved. But I'm going to show you something. Okay, so this is the NBA schedule. Remember, not every event had a fight of the night. A lot of them had performance of the night, so 4 awards, right? So, but if you look through the list, right? Look, here's fight of the night. They listed here, right? Look at the list, Marcel. What do you notice about the names, right? What do you notice? Like, what's the common theme here with these names? What do you notice?
What's the common theme?
What's the common theme with all these names I'm showing you? All these names. These are the first 6 months of the year for the fight of the nights. What's the common theme?
All men?
Yeah, they're all guys. That's the number one thing. They're all guys, literally. All the men have won fight of the night until you guys can see it. It's very obvious here. Ji Young Kim against Molly McCann, which was a great fight. This was in September. So up to that point, there was no women that won fight of the night this year. That's not to say they weren't deserving, because there's probably some really good fights that deserved it, but other fights obviously beat them out. But we started September, so we got McCann Kim. So all of a sudden, there's no women that won fight of the night. And then since September, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you had none all year, and then the last like 3 months, you had 4 of them. I feel like it was the UFC, giving the women some love too. That's honestly what I feel. I think they're trying to even it up a bit, but. For me, it's just they just need to give out more bonuses. I don't think it should matter if you're a woman or a man to get a bonus. Marcel?
Oh, 100% sure. Just the best. Listen, if you only do fight of the night and 2 performances, the best fight should win the fight of the night, and not because they are women or they are heavyweights or they're whatever. You should. The best fight should win fight of the night. Doesn't matter what gender you are.
Anyways, I'm not saying that's the reason, but you guys saw it. Like the first 9 months or whatever or 8 months, I should say. It's all men with one fight in the night. And then since September on, we've had 4 female winners. And I think like Derrick Rodriguez obviously deserved. That was an amazing fight.
Yeah, I agree.
But like Valissis Martin, Marcel, like to me, that wasn't anything special. I thought McCann and Kim was a great fight. That deserved it. So, you know what I mean, Marcel? It's just like, but when they gave it to a fight like this one, Hill and Lemos, I just can't agree with it when you had 10 finishes on this card. You had 10 finishes, but somehow these women were deserving because they had an okay fight. I don't get it. I don't agree with it. Don't agree with it at all. There's other fighters that deserve more money, like this guy. Ricky Simone should have got $50,000 for knocking out Rafael Santos. I mean, I know Cody obviously did a Garbrandt, but other than that, no one's knocked him out really like that. And also Eric Koch like 10 years ago. That's it. I mean, to knock him out like that, I was blown away. I mean, Ricky was obviously going to win the fight with the wrestling, but the fact he knocked him out, Marcel, doesn't that didn't you think he'd get a bonus? I thought he was.
Yeah, for sure, man. And he looked really good in that fight. And knocking out Assunção, we know Cody did it, but still, it's a great win, and definitely for Ricky. I don't really see Ricky as a knockout puncher or whatever. He's more of a wrestler who has submissions. Good win, man, and much needed, in my opinion. This was another chance for Ricky to prove he should be in the top 15.
Yeah. And
he proved it on Saturday. He will be in the top 15. So good on him. And there are many, many opportunities for him in that top 15. So, yeah.
Yeah, guy looked great. And he's young, too, man. He's only 29. So he's in the prime of his career. Overall record, UFC 7-2. Guy's a good fighter. Mathias Gamrot, another guy I think could have won a bonus. I mean, this was a brutal finish. Brutal. Like a knee to the – I didn't know what happened. I thought he injured himself at first. Then you saw it was clearly a knee to the body. Gamrot you know, he had won 3 bonuses his first 3 fights. I think he should have made him 4 for 4. I think they robbed this guy $50,000 for that knee. That to me is way more deserving of than losing a close fight that Angela Hill did. Not to say, again, I thought she won, but I'm just saying, like, to me, getting a finish like that, that's $50,000 worthy in my opinion. I think Gamrot, you guys already knew I like the guy. I love the guy. And the guy's so well-rounded. It's insane how well-rounded he is, Marcel. Like, he's good everywhere. I think this guy could be a champ in like 2 years' time, maybe. He's 31 right now, so he's got to, you know, he's right in his prime. But you know, next year he's not going to fight for the belt next year, obviously. But I think in 2 years, Marcel, you could see this guy in the top 5. What do you think?
I agree, man. He is good, and what gotta say, man, Diego Ferreira gave him a good fight. You know,
Yeah.
Wasn't an easy fight at all for Gamrot. Yeah, he's going to be in the rankings as well. You know, I think Diego Ferreira said after the fight that he was almost pulling out of the fight because he had like a broken rib or a fractured rib or whatever he said. I don't know exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, good place knee by Gamrot, and super weird. You know, Gamrot was going for that rear naked choke, and the ref was, "Hey, it's over already," and it's like, "What over? what happened?" You know, so. Yeah, good. When he called out Chandler, I think, after the fight, I'd love to see it. Probably not going to get it, but hey.
Good fight. You know what's crazy with Diego, right? He had won 6 straight fights. Now, this was a bad year for him. Went 0-3. He did. What's crazy thing is, though, he went 0-3, but he won 2 Fight of the Night awards. So he's actually won 3 awards in his last 4 fights. I don't think they cut him, but with 3 straight losses, I don't think he gets a ranked opponent. He's going to probably have to fight like a prospect, I would have to guess.
Maybe they rebooked the Grant Dawson fight, you know.
That would be a good fight, you know. And Grant obviously lost, or he didn't lose. He lost the draw against Ricky Glenn, but you know he could have. A lot of people thought he lost, so I think it'd be a good fight. Let's go to the comments again, guys. Yeah, we know now. We the crazy thing is we both figured it out just using our brains and not what Cole said here. I didn't even see a call. I turned it off after the fight was over, so I didn't see it. But somehow we figured it out here, which is pretty impressive. I got to say. Why was brought to Jared move? Because I think they thought 270 was more stacked, and they had to put a co-main event at 271. Plus, it's insurance in case you know, Israel or Robert gets hurt. So, yeah, cool. We got that. They should. Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this for years, Daniel. Like promotions like ACA give out, I think, 10,000 a finish, or they used to. Was it 10,000 or
5,000 for every finish, and 50 or 100,000 for the best finish of the night.
So I mean. To me, that's something that, you know, I think would actually make the sport more exciting because, like, if you have a bonus for if they're like, hey, we're gonna give you an extra 10K if you get the finish, which you're already planning on doing, I think you'd be more likely to go for it personally. But they just don't want to do that for some reason. Gamrot becomes the first opponent to crack the light heavyweight rankings, lightweight, not light heavyweight. Obviously, it's young. Just how good is Guram? Guram's great, but he's got to fight. He hasn't fought since their first fight, right? Yeah. Hey, Ryan, he says had Diego had a rib injury. Yeah, that makes sense then with the knee, right? Gamrot's major holes is wrestling. I think he's working on an ATT. That's the best gym he could be at, and I think he's at the right gym. But you're right, he's still got some holes in his game because, like, he showed some in the fight with Kutateladze. Do you think it makes Darius not to look good that Gregor and Gamrot finished for instance too? No, I think Darius did what he had to do. I don't think he was even going for the finish in that fight, to be honest with you. They were just kind of rolling around and stuff. But then the way he looked against Tony, I mean, it kind of made me forget about that fight, if anything.
And there is a difference when you fight somebody who is on a winning streak than somebody who...
Yeah, by the way, I forgot about this. Jay, I completely forgot. Thanks for mentioning that. You're right, he did miss weight for that fight. Sorry, Marcel, I just wanted to mention that. Because he what's his name? Gregor got 100,000. My apologies, guys. So it's been a rough year for him, no doubt about it. What were you going to say, though, Marcel?
I say it's also more difficult than when he fought Darius. Diego Ferreira was on a winning streak, right?
Yeah.
And Darius broke that. And then most fighters fight different when you're on a winning streak than you're on a losing streak, because when you have a loss and you have to defend your ranking, you may be going to fight a little bit more safe than you do when you have to attack the ranking. I don't know. That's how I think. Maybe some fighters don't think that way, but there are probably fighters who think that way. And definitely now with Diego Ferreira losing 2 fights in a row, have to fight Gamrot, he knows he actually has to win this one to keep in the rankings, He's
lost 3 in a row.
And that's now 3 in a row. So you fight different, I think. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree with that. All right, closing out the main card here. I thought Elkins had a chance, man. I was completely wrong. This was an amazing performance by Cub Swanson. I think this is the best he's ever looked. He looked amazing. Quick, I was blown. I was like, wow, this is, he did knock out Pineda last year. Before that, had been like 5 years since he knocked someone out. Like now he's knocking everyone out. Guy looked amazing. Mark, give me your thoughts on this one. I was obviously wrong with this one. I thought Elkins could tough him out. I was wrong, man.
I tweeted vintage cup, I was like, listen, you know what I said last time? I said, probably Elkins going to win, but they give it to Cup because of the damage will be on Elkins, but nothing of that, man. I mean, Cup looked amazing. He really looked good. And maybe he had, with the support of his wife and his 3 kids cage side, maybe that put on a light in him extra, and he looked great. He actually looked like a world beater in that fight. He really looked good.
Amazing.
And and I haven't seen Elkins put away like that easy.
It's like Chad Mendes, really. That's what I'm thinking. Like, Chad knocked him out. Yeah, because I know Lamas beat him, but it was 3rd round. Like, no one's knocked him out like that since Mendes did when he smashed him. Blown away.
Amazing.
This gets him a top 15 opponent, I think, right?
And I'm happy the UFC gave him $50K for that performance
He deserved that. He deserved it. And Cub's such a great guy, man. He really is. Like, he's one of the OGs, and I've been watching this guy fight for over a decade. I love the guy. He's just such a great fighter, and just really happy for the dude. He's such a great representation of the sport, in my opinion.
Yes.
I'm looking at the rankings right now, Marcel. Like, there's some really good fights for him. The top 50. I think, there's some guys out here like, I know he's fought some of them before, but even Burgos again would be fun, or Caceres. Barboza would be fun. I mean, there's a lot of fights, Marcel, honestly. I know he did call out Uriah Faber. I don't think that fight's going to happen, but he did call him out for the King of Cali title. Would be cool. So, guy looked great. Let's go to the prelims, Marcel. Dustin Stoltzfus looks like he was about to pull off a huge upset, and then Gerald Meerschaert does it again, chokes him out in the 3rd round once again. So, in the UFC, he has 3 3rd-round submissions. And in his whole career, you could add only one other one, which is crazy. So in the UFC, he's got 3 finishes in the 3rd round by submission. Unbelievable! It's crazy. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, man. I thought at a certain moment Stoltzfus was taking over, and the 1st round was kind. I think I still scored it for Meerschaert. I think I went.
Yeah, so did I. By the way, 2 judges had it for Meerschaert, so he did win the 1st round. That's what I thought, but it was close.
I went with the 2nd with Stoltzfus, obviously, and the 3rd round Stoltzfus was winning as well. So I mean, I feel really bad for Stoltzfus, man. 0-3 in the UFC right now, and he was looking pretty well, against not, how do you say that? A guy who was just not in the top 15, but just under the top 15. He looked pretty decent against him, and being 0-3. Probably going to get cut. I hope he gets another fight, but probably going to get cut. And for Meerschaert, another good win on his record with a rear naked choke finish in the 3rd round. So for him, it's been a great year. He had a great upside over Mahmoud Muradov earlier this year, and he has bounced back great after the Chimaev loss. So yeah,
I agree. So the guy is Gerald's obviously in charge of the division now. 3 straight wins by submission. For Stoltzfus, I think he should get one more fight. Honestly, I thought he looked good in this fight, and until the finish, the guys fought tough competition. Meerschaert, Vieira, and Daukaus. That's tough. Give him one more fight. Give him someone like Jamie Pickett versus Starpoli, something shitty like that. Someone like those low bottom guys in the division. Like, there's got to be a fight like that they can make, right?
So sometimes I feel like they gave certain guys very difficult fights, and other guys they gave.
Yeah, like Kyle Burrell is fighting. What's his name? Pickett. He wins that fight easily, I think. Right. Mm-hmm. So I know what you're saying. Like, okay, I'm looking at how about look at the ranking. Like a guy like Cody Brundage, I think he could beat him. Michael Gilmore, he could beat him. I think too.
Jordan Wright.
Jordan Wright is that fight makes a lot of sense. I think, or even that's actually, I like that fight. That's a fun fight because Jordan does have a little bit of wrestling too, but he's got a really bad chin. Also, this guy Roman Kopylov is another guy who hasn't won. Alan Amadovsky, Hugh Yaozong, if they want to keep on the roster. There's a lot of guys that are like 0-2, 0-3 in this division. So I think they're gonna give him more fight, guys. I think they'll give him one more. But I mean, it wasn't the way he wanted the fight to end. I hope they give him one more. Gerald and Bruno Blindado. That'd be a good fight. GM3 versus Edmund. Hey, Owen, that'd be a good fight too. Give Marcel, some guys get weeds. Yeah, Dustin's had really hard matchups. I agree with you guys. Very, very tough. This was a short notice fight, to be fair to both guys, but not an easy fight. All right. So Justin Tafa, first UFC heavyweight to ever miss weight, 267. I mean, that is honestly pretty sad. I know he said he wasn't feeling good and he had travel issues, but God be able to make 266. I mean, Marcel, if me or you didn't make 266, I'd be pissed at each other, right? So, I just think this guy's going to make the weight. But either way, I mean, basically, he cost himself $50,000 because I think he would have won a bonus for the head kick. It was nasty. he looked great, but he missed weight. Give me your thoughts quickly.
Man, the dude kicked Hansucker on his defense, and he still went down. That's how hard he kicked. That's how hard
he was like this and still got through.
And he still got through. Good win for Tafa, and this is a fight he should have won, in my opinion.
It was a gimme fight by the UFC.
And he missed weight, so he needed this win badly. And he got it, and he should win against Harry Hansucker, let's be really honest.
Well, Alex didn't think so. Alex thought Hansucker would win.
I mean, that's okay, man. I've been wrong many times.
Oh, me too.
That's okay.
Yep.
Still, it's a good win for Tafa. It's a fight he should have won. He won. So, let's see what's next, But it's like there were on this card, 2 of the 3 heavyweight fights were like really low level ranking heavyweight fights. So it was. I was happy it was over in the first round. Let me put it that way.
Melissa Gatto defeats Jar Eubanks 3rd round body kick. I mean, this was brutal. This was such a great fight too. This was a great fight. I thought, Eubanks, and I said last week, I'm like, man, this is the hardest fight for me to call because Eubanks, the 125 weight cut, she missed weight. As soon as she missed weight, I was like, fuck it, it's been a tough cut. So I still kept her as my pick, but I really thought about switching, Marcel. I really did. I kind of wish it didn't matter. It's the last event of the year. It's not like it would have cost me first place in the pool, right? But I thought about it because, Jar obviously struggled to make this weight class. I don't even know if they'll give her another chance. This is not the first time she's missed weight in this division. But I thought Gatto looked phenomenal. I think Gatto is the real deal, Marcel. I think she is someone that, I don't know if she'll win the belt, but to me, she is absolutely someone that's going to be a contender for many years to come. 25 years old, already 2-0 in the UFC. She has 3 straight wins in her career over Carol Rosa, who is a great prospect in Brazil, and then since coming to the UFC, Victoria Leonardo and Jar Eubanks by stoppage. This girl's really good. Give me your thoughts, man.
Yeah, man. First place in the pool, pretty difficult after with it. I mean, with Brian Michael Phelps, Heminger.
Guy had a crazy year. The guy was getting every pick right. It was crazy.
Yeah, amazing, by the way.
The crazy thing is, I actually went to Brian like maybe 2 months ago, and I was like, dude, you got to tell me what the trick is because you're getting like 13-0 on these cards, and I'm going 6-6 or whatever. Like, tell me the trick. And he gave me some tips, but it wasn't like anything crazy. It was just more. There wasn't anything really to it. I just realized that. I'll tell you what Brian told me, guys. And Brian came in first place in the pool odds maker this year. You know what he told me? The number one trick was he didn't look at the odds before he picked the fights. I don't feel like I'm in that position. I can't be in that spot because I have to do the opening odds. I'm always constantly seeing them. Brian's position, if he doesn't have to see the odds, if he can ignore them and just make his picks, good for him. If it helped him get the more picks right, I feel like it helps me get more picks right. But if he felt like it helped him, get more right by not seeing the odds first, maybe there is something to it, man. Who knows? Marcel, I just wanted to throw it out there. That's what he told me. Maybe he's lying too. I'm just kidding. He wouldn't be lying. I'm joking. Toffin might be the 5-3 higher most hyped about. Yeah, he should be 6-2. That's good odds though, Alex. Honestly, that's not bad odds, man. Time for Eubanks to get caught. 5-5, 2 misses, not very likable. Only slightly Ali could save it. I don't get it, man. There was that whole domestic violence thing a few months ago too, or whatever, and no one's even talking about that anymore.
But that was really weird, man. That was like her.
That was a really weird.
What was she beating up her girlfriend, or her girlfriend was beating up her?
Allegedly, but we don't know, so we can't say it. But again, it was weird how that came out. That video was really bizarre. It'd be a fun fight too. The rematch be a fun fight. Yeah, Tafa versus Charges. I think that's the fight to make too. Charles Jourdain, I mean, right now, like he's one of my favorite. He's probably my favorite Canadian in the roster. Is there someone else who's more exciting? I can't think of someone from my country. Guy is just an absolute savage. The 3rd round was amazing. The way that one combo he landed, and then he screamed. He's like, ah! Like that was fucking amazing. And at the end of the fight, you know what's hilarious? He's beating the shit out of him, and he does this nasty teep kick through the body with 1 second left, right at the end, right? Mm-hmm. And Nita, my fiance, she's like, "Oh, that was so mean. Why did he have to kick him in the stomach?" I'm like, "Babe, there was a second left on the clock, though." She's like, "Yeah, but it's basically over." I'm like, "There's a second left." So for me, it was fine. I loved it. I liked seeing it. He was a savage, man. Dude, this guy's amazing. And here's the thing: he's a free agent. I hope he re-signs the UFC. But if I'm him, I'm looking at PFL, man. I'm looking at PFL. I think that'd be a great spot for him. I honestly think he can do well in that tournament. Marcel, give me your thoughts, man.
If I was the UFC, I would give him a new contract, But why not? I mean, he looked good. It was a great fight. Like I said, was fight of the night. Yeah, you will. It hasn't been really well for him at 135. After going down. Yeah, good win for Jourdain. What can you say? I mean, this is finally a win again for him. He really needed this one, in my opinion, and a good win, a solid win, and he looked like a fan favorite over there, and I think fans really appreciated the performance. And if he goes through with this, he'll get more fans, and he will be on main cards if he fights like this, man.
He's super exciting, man. I mean, he's just a fun guy to watch. Jourdain, 3-3-1 now record in the UFC. And I will say this: Andre Ewell, I think this is the right weight class for him. He looked way more like durable. Marcel, like his chin looked better. So he's also 0-3. Sorry, like 0-3 fight win streak or losing streak. I think they could give him one more at 145.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think he deserves it. I think he put in the work for this fight. Clearly looked better than he has lately at this weight class. So I think they do it. Let's answer these questions quickly, guys. Podcast tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern, and we'll do fight announcements and stuff and news. Tony Laramie, I like Tony, man. Jourdain Swanson would be a fun fight. So Jourdain said that Cub Swanson was staring him down, and he's like they're looking back and forth. And then someone asked Cub saying like, "Hey, Jourdain said you were staring him down. He wants to fight you, right?" And Cub's like, "That's awesome." He's like, "I really like this guy." He's like, Cub's like, I'm a fan of that guy. And he's like, he told me he was a fan of me. He's like, it's nothing personal, man. It's just our job. I would love to fight the guy. That's what he said. So that fight makes a lot of sense. And they both seem to want to fight each other. It'd be a great
they both want it. Why doing difficult?
Fucking beautiful fight if it happens. It'd be a beautiful fight. All right. Well, it was a beautiful finish, but the whole weight miss here by Macy Chiasson, super disappointing. There's one thing to miss at 135 on short notice, which I'd understand, but missing featherweight too is pathetic. 148.5. That's straight up cheating, guys. She didn't even try to make that 146. She was just trying to not gas herself out and keep a cut that wasn't going to kill her, and ends up losing anyways. I'm disappointed. I think Macy's a good fighter, but to me, I was beyond disappointed, especially because 2 months ago, I was supposed to fight Aspen Ladd. Aspen Ladd missed by 1 pound, and she's like, "I'm not fighting you anymore." But she expected Pennington to fight her by missing by 2.5 pounds. Give me your thoughts on the weight miss, man. How do you miss weight up a weight class? Come on, give me your thoughts.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just that fight was weird from the start, in my opinion. Pennington did what she had to do. I don't think Pennington. I had Macy first round. I think after that, Pennington kind of took over and she finished her. Was the first person ever to finish Macy Chiasson at 145, which is an impressive thing for Pennington to do. I expected Pennington to be much more boring. So
me too.
Yeah,
the fight was actually pretty good. It was a pretty good fight. Like I thought it was gonna be against the fence the whole time, Marcel. And this was like mostly in the center of the cage, and they were throwing some nice combinations. It was a good fight, But I'm just saying, like, I'm disappointed she missed weight, man. As a fan of Macy, I don't dislike her. I think she's a good fighter. I just don't like when you're up a weight class in this weight, Marcel. Like that's just like, to me, isn't it inexcusable? Like in a way, like. I don't know what to say. I know you're close with that team, and you probably don't want to say anything like.
No, I'm just being honest. I mean, it should be at 135, and then it goes to 145, and you still miss weight at 45. I mean, doesn't look good at all,
Yeah.
But
she's not going to get cut, obviously.
No.
Yeah. I'm not saying that, but to me, it's like it just seemed like blatantly missing weight on purpose at that point. Marcel, like she can't make 146. She's like, all right, I'll just. Anyways, Dontel Mays looked really good against Josh Parisian. Pretty much controlled him from top to bottom. From start to finish, Marcel. On the top position. Go ahead.
But why did he try to deep throw him?
Okay, so this is a weird fight. So first of all, I just want to say 6 takedowns is impressive. 11 and a half minutes top control, impressive. The finish, impressive. Humping the guy's head, that was really weird. And I've never seen a move like that before. And I'm like, is this a 10-8 round now? That was interesting. You know what? The guy big brother. That's the definition of big brothering someone, man. I mean, wow.
I can't get that flip from
the dude. He teabagged the guy, man. Give me your thoughts on the fight. I thought Mays looked great, honestly.
Yeah, he did. He looked good. A good finish as well. But I can't get that picture out of my head, man.
It's all I think about now. Weird. By the way, wouldn't it suck having this guy on top of you though? Like, I couldn't. Like, it'd be so hard to get up.
I don't think you would suck. No, I don't think.
I just think that this guy is just so heavy. I mean, if he can wrestle guys in this division, he's going to win a lot of fights because up to this point, Marcel, he's been mostly a striker, right? So if he can get on top of guys, he's pretty good. But yeah, that was just really interesting. I'll just say.
Yeah.
Let's go to the last fight of the night. Mr. Jordan Levitt gets the win over Matt Sales. Inverted triangle choke. No bonus. Third time in UFC history, no bonus.
Mm-hmm.
They should have given out more bonuses on this card, guys. 10 finishes, only 2 guys got bonuses. I thought Levitt looked pretty good in this fight. You know, Matt Sales, I know you picked him, and actually, first round he looked decent, to be honest with you, but after that, I think the layoff hurt him, Marcel. He cast out, and the wrestling, obviously. So I thought Levitt looked good. 2-1 now in the UFC for Jordan Levitt. Give me your thoughts on this guy.
Yeah, he looked good indeed. First round, Sales still looked great. He did look decent. And but Levitt took over, and a great win, a great inverted triangle. Yeah, I mean, what can you say? A good bounce back after his loss against Claudio Puelles last time out, and for Sales. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with Sales, man. I mean, a long layoff before that, a twister loss to Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're going to give him another one.
No,
but,
I think he has.
I doubt it.
He's 1-3, and he probably signed a 4-fight deal, if I had to guess. So he's probably going to be cut. You know, and the one thing, because honestly, I was having such a hard time, as I told you guys last week. The one thing that for me was just that critical piece of information when he said he got up to 250 pounds during his time off. This is a guy who weighs at 145 normally, and the fact that when he came back, it was at 155 and not 145. Marcel, the guy had some major conditioning issues, obviously, and it showed in the fight. So to me, that's what it came down to, the conditioning. All right, get the last comments here, guys, and then we'll get out of here. Well, I'll talk about Paul and Woodley first. Aspen Macy at 145. Sure. Actually, that fight makes sense. 2 girls that can't make 135. They should just make those girls go to 145 now, you know? Lord knows they make that many. They probably would. Hype MMA. Hey, man. Hope everything's good. Yeah, he did teabag. That was absolutely ridiculous. Preacher wrote on Instagram, he said defeat before the fight. I wonder what he means. What the fuck? I hate hearing guys say that. Like, I was mentally defeated going into the fight. I knew Josh Ferreira wasn't that good. I honestly knew it. Like, because I thought he looked so good at contender shit. I'm going to tell you why, what happened with Josh Ferreira and me. I was so high on him after he knocked out Greg Rebello, right? I was like, why did they not sign him? Why did they not sign this guy? Then I went and watched that fight with Brett Martin where he got submitted, and I saw how bad his ground game is, and I'm like, oh, that's why they didn't sign. This guy has no ground game at all, Marcel. So he's a grinder. I'm looking at his comment. Hey, guys, I'll write a long message, but for the people carrying as a person, 100% okay. I was mentally broke before I got in there and accepted defeat. I lost before the fight. What the fuck? That's really weird. I mean, maybe he had some issue with his family or something. That's sad. I like Josh. He's not a bad fighter, but he's not a UFC caliber fighter. I think at this point we can say that, Marcel. Because I think he should be 0-3. I don't think he beat Roki either. So that should have been a point deduction, honestly, Glenn. Like, I know it wasn't like hard, but that's a headbutt. You're not supposed to do that in MMA.
I think Jose Quinones got 2-point deductions by headbutting Alejandro Perez at the Ultimate Tough Latin America.
To the body or to the head?
To the body.
I'm surprised that Herb didn't take a point. He's just like, hey, don't do that again. Like, but that's a rule, Herb. Like, you can't headbutt to the body or the head. But he'll almost go, yeah. Owen, I don't know if you missed what I showed earlier with the fight of the nights. It was like all men for the first 8 months, and then since then it's been a lot of women that have won it, which they deserve sometimes. Definitely less the chance to get a bonus for them. Yeah, that's true, Glenn. 100%. If you're like in the first couple of fights, you're very lucky if you get a bonus. I'm with Owen. Owen, we agree. We both agree. Who's the TV fight in February? I don't know.
So I got told by somebody that he was going to fight Espino, and then I asked Espino, and Espino was like, "Dude, are you crazy? We're training together." I was like, "Okay." Somebody told me, and he showed me. And he showed me a picture like this with Latifi. So I was like, "No, I'm not fighting him."
Owen wanted you to post that and look like an idiot. That's exactly what happened. They wanted you to Patty Pimblett yourself again, Marcel. Okay, so listen, I know Marcel doesn't want to talk about this necessarily, but we have to, guys. So Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley. Let's talk about it.
It's a beautiful time to close the show.
Maybe 5 minutes. Let's talk about it for 5 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to get out here. We got 5 minutes left, guys. We got out here a little early. The fight was one of the worst fights I've ever seen up until the point of the knockout. It was so bad. I was like, man, this fight is just terrible. These guys are doing nothing. What is this? It's so bad to watch. And then out of nowhere, Jake lands an absolute haymaker, cracked Woodley right behind the ear, Marcel, on that spot right here where JDS knocked out Kane. You get hit in that spot, guys, it just knocks your equilibrium out of whack, and you have a hard time recovering. We've seen it happen to so many guys in MMA over the years. Get hit in the back of the head or the back of the ear, which is legal. And that was it. Marcel, I think that punch was absolutely brutal. I think it would have knocked out a lot of people, honestly. I know a lot of people don't like Jake Paul. I do. I don't care what other people think. I don't care what other people think about this guy. I think he's a pretty good fighter. I mean, we don't know for sure how good he is yet, but I think he's doing good things for the sport, man. I really do think there's a lot to his message about fighter pay. I think he is doing a lot to help these guys out, to raise awareness about the issue and to call Dana away on this shitty pay. And Woodley made some good money this year. Ben Askren made some good money from this guy, better than they made in their MMA careers, which is really sad to say. And I think the guy's only 24, 25 years old. For me, there's a lot to like about Jake Paul, man. And I think that he could surprise people against, bigger names. Like, I don't know if he would beat Nate Diaz, but it'd be good. It'd be a fun fight. I would watch that fight, Marcel? So for me, that's just me, man. The guy's really grown on me. 2 years ago, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I had no fucking idea who this guy was. I didn't know who Logan Paul was. I had no idea, Marcel, who these guys were. And I did this. I was working at BJ Penn. I started 2.5 years ago. I'm not there anymore. And then Chris is like, "You write about these guys?" And I'm like, "Who are these guys?" I don't know anything about these guys, Marcel. I don't watch the Disney Channel. I didn't know who they were. Right. The last 2 years has been a lot of me writing about these guys. The last year has been a lot of writing about Jake Paul. The guy's really grown on me, man. The guy's got a good message about fighter pay. And the guy's pretty fucking exciting. I mean, his fights are pretty exciting. Now, obviously, this fight wasn't great until the knockout, but Marcel, I mean, that was one of the best knockouts of the year in any sport. It was absolutely unreal. I mean, I know you're not a fan of boxing necessarily or Jake Paul, but pretty damn good knockout. Any thoughts on this, Marcel? Any thoughts on the fight, man? I know you saw the knockout.
Yeah, I saw the knockout because you can't miss it on Twitter feed, right? So, yeah, I saw it. Looked like a good knockout to me.
Sick.
What else you want me to say, man? I mean, I'm actually not even watching, and there's no disrespect to boxing, but I'm just not really of a boxing guy, I like the old Tyson fights, the old Muhammad Ali fights, but I mean, I'm not even watching like Anthony Joshua, the Klitschko, that kind of guys, So for me, it's like to watch Jake Paul fight Tyron Woodley in boxing. It really doesn't do anything for me. But if you enjoy it and if other people enjoy it, so be it, man.
It's not like I was enjoying the fight because I wasn't. The fight sucked, but the knockout was amazing. The only reason I think if he was just fighting random guys, I wouldn't watch the fights. But since he did fight Askren and Woodley, I've watched these guys fight for over 10 years. I wanted to watch what happened, Anyways, it was a bad fight, but the knockout was amazing. I mean, that clip will sell him make him so much money, sell so many pay-per-views in the next fight. Let me get these comments. Do you guys know who Billy Q's fighting? He did say he's fighting someone. Do you know who it is?
Yeah, it's I don't know if I can say it. It's a grappling match. So
is it ranked or unranked? Can you say that?
It's a grappling match. It's
Bryce Mitchell. There you go. That's the fight. I missed him before. Seeing Elkins like that made me sick to my stomach. I couldn't avoid anything. It was punching bag. Dude, it was really bad, Tristan. It reminded me of the Chad Mendes fight. It was like he couldn't move. He couldn't move at all side to side or anything. It was really weird. Like he was like a statue. And Cub was looking amazing. Any idea if Kevin Lee or Rice saw is possible? Maybe.
Bro, don't do that to Kevin Lee.
I think they're going to give Kevin some reasonable matchups there. We'll preview. Hey, what's up, Hype? No, we're going to do that on January 10th, I think, or whatever that is, January 9th, something like that. So, like I was saying, tomorrow, we're going to do fight announcements and stuff. So all the fights that were booked the last week, we'll talk about that. And then next week, I was thinking like a year-end recap. So we'll talk like, Marcel, like fight of the night, knock of the night, all that kind of stuff.
Kind of like MMA OB Daily Podcast Awards.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do the MMA, and we'll probably do like 2 days of it because we have time to kill. So we'll do that. Let me get these. GF, I'm pretty sure like you. Me too. He does trigger a lot of people though. It's crazy, right? Triggers Dana good. Oh shit! I forgot about this. Yeah, this is terrible. So I'm not sure if that's true, Glenn, but Jordan Young did die. We don't know the cause of death. I've heard other things. I don't know if necessarily it was intentional. It's extremely sad. The guy was not even 30 years old. The guy was coming off the biggest win of his career. Age 27, dead. Coming off the biggest win of his career, plus 500 underdog against Omar Akhmedov. It's really sad, man. And like I tweeted this yesterday. So he follows me. I didn't realize he followed me until now after he's dead, which actually hurts my feelings because I didn't notice that he followed me, I guess, a long time ago, probably. It is what it is. He follows me. Jordan Parsons, another guy, he's a Bellator. He died in a car accident, or someone, I think, hit him when he was on the side of the road or something.
Yeah.
Poor guy. He follows me. And Josh Salmon, who did die of a drug overdose, he follows me. They were all under 30 years old, and they were both all in MMA, and they were both all guys that I watched fight, and in some cases interviewed. It's crazy, man. You know, I have people that are literally deceased following me still, which makes me really, it kind of makes me shake a little bit, Marcel. It's kind of weird, right? And it actually makes me wonder, Marcel, how many other people that, you know, I have 10,000 followers, how many of those people are dead now? You know, I just wonder sometimes, like people I've talked to years ago that don't talk to anymore. You ever wonder about that? Like people you never see.
I with Sergio Da Silva, the guy who passed away.
Yeah,
I think over a year ago.
Yeah, another fighter there. Yeah, CS guy. So it's crazy.
Also, there's another MMA fighter over here in the Netherlands. He's Spanish Moroccan. He died as well on Saturday or Sunday, 35 years old, in his sleep. What I've heard.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Also, he was a big. He was like a BJJ guy who was fighting into MMA, and he was big in training guys over here and girls in the Netherlands. You know, he fought himself as well. He fought in the most recent LFL card. Yeah, it's just sad. You know, it's just sad.
It's terrible. I wish we had the cause of death for Jordan Young. It's just nothing's really coming out.
Yeah, you know, it's also so, you know, sometimes you want to know, but it's also so stupid to ask around about
no,
it. You know?
I don't.
This
is news. This is news, man. This is news, and
yeah, but it feels. I don't
feel
feel
like cause of death is something. I'm a journalist. That's the first thing you asked. How did they die?
Yeah, but I don't feel comfortable to ask to maybe to a manager. I don't mind to ask, you know, but to his teammates or whatever.
It's tough. I understand. It's tough to get confirmation right now. You know, you just hope that we do, you know, get the cause, because I just think people stop asking questions, because, you know, I'm seeing what was it Glenn, or sorry, it's Tristan. He's saying that's what he heard, but Tristan, I heard something else. You know what I mean? So
that's what I heard as well. So
you heard what Tristan heard? That's what you heard?
Yeah, but I don't know.
I heard something completely different than you guys. So, and it was different than what Glenn said too. So I mean, you know, I'm not going to say what I heard either. I just want to know for sure. Nice fighting song. Pedro Munoz and Sean, that'd be a good fight. And Pedro's like proven he's like, you know, like gatekeeper. Yeah, it's tough with Jordan Young, man. He just had the biggest win of his career. It's crazy. Leon Tunov would be a great fight at 165. Would fucking love that fight. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for today's podcast, Marcel. Let's get out of here. Plug your stuff, man. Go ahead.
Big Marcel 24, Twitter, Instagram, MMADNA.nl, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.
JFM, sad news puts things in perspective, reminds fighters are human beings at the end of the day. And we're not here for long. You know, the years go by really fast, man. Like, time goes by fast, you know. One day you're going to realize, like, you know, it's almost over. It's crazy, right? And unfortunately for Jordan Young, that was it. So really sad, you know, rest in peace for him. And, you know, when I tweeted about it, people started talking about other people that died, like Ryan Jimmo, Canadian guy who died a few years ago. He got killed. Some road rage accident. It was terrible. I wouldn't say accident. The guy did it on purpose. Or even Kimbo Slice, he also died in the last couple of years as well. I think he died maybe 6 or 7 years ago. It's really sad, man, when this happens. You know, people that are important to the sport. Anyways, you guys can follow me on Twitter at mmatamartin, MMAOBSpeaker.com. It's where the podcast is. It's on our website. It's on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, all those places. Me and Marcel do the podcast Monday and Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time until 6 p.m. Eastern. So we enjoy doing that. I'm also available at mymmanews.com. I do some news writing there. And then my new job, bookies.com. That's my full-time job now. So I'm there all week, and it's busy. It's good, though. It's great. I love my new job. I really do. But I love doing the podcast, too. So tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern, back with Marcel. We'll break down. Well, I won't be breaking down anything, actually. We'll just be doing fight announcements and news. Talk to you later, guys. Peace.